8 o'clock, and a very warm welcome here on Canal de English for the news at 8. I am Eli Smith. Good evening. First, the headlines. If there was any doubt that the U.S. is on the side of Cameroon in her fight against Boko Haram, it has again been dissipated as the U.S. government offers consignment of military vehicles to the armed forces of Cameroon. Furthermore, we have on Cameroonian soil some 300 U.S. soldiers. Cameroonians can also celebrate they are not alone in unpatriotic and disrespectful acts. Their giant neighbors, Nigeria, is manifesting something that seems to be uniquely African. Can you imagine that? The formidable Super Falcons of Nigeria, after humiliating the indomitable Lionesses in Cameroon, denying Cameroon of an opportunity to celebrate, they cut it away with the Africa Cup of Nations. But in Nigeria, they are crying. Why? The government of Nigeria does not want to pay them. It is a shame. Meanwhile, in the West African state of Ghana, presidential elections took place today amidst tight security. Those were the headlines. Some 300 U.S. soldiers are in Garoua to help Cameroonian soldiers combat Boko Haram. Good news, but the worry is that since their presence last year, they have not been combating on the battlefield. Why? Tabby Clarkson has more from Yaoundé.
AFRICOM, the American military base for Africa. The military base is located in Stuttgart, in the south of Germany. The military base, which is highly secured and where television cameras are not allowed to film, has as main objective to protect American interest in the African continent, but also to respond to the demand of African countries threatened by insecurity. It's in this regard that President Barack Obama deployed some 300 military men in Garoua in October 2015 in response to President Biya's help to combat the barbaric group Boko Haram.
Partner with foreign militaries, we always ask the question, what do you have and what do we have that you do not have? So Cameroon has very capable soldiers who are doing a very good job in the fight against Boko Haram, but the authorities in Cameroon said that what we lack is the surveillance, the ability to monitor what the enemy is doing. Can you provide that to us? We say, well, if you need this capacity, we need access to one of your bases.
On the field, the Cameroonian army is doing her best, but the threat is still very much alive, with series of attacks perpetrated in the presence of American soldiers.
But I want to address this question of the, I don't know if you use the expression in Cameroon of the radio trottoir, the gossip of why we're there. Truly, I've been to northern Cameroon. I like northern Cameroon. There is no economic interest for the United States at play in northern Cameroon.
According to officials of AFRICOM, the American soldiers in Garoua don't have the authorization to combat in the field because this does not fall in line with the agreement signed with the Cameroonian government.
What does the United States military get out of our, obtain from our operations in Garoua? Nothing. It costs money. It brings soldiers and airmen away from their families. It is difficult to keep them supplied with parts and the like. That costs money. But we are contributing to a multinational effort which is for the betterment of the citizens in the Lake Chad Basin. That is why we are there.
As a reminder, since May 2014, when Cameroon declared war against Boko Haram, hundreds See, thousands of Cameroonians have perished in the conflict, and many more families have been displaced.
The United States government has offered Cameroon's defense forces an important consignment of military vehicles. It is the U.S. government's support in the fight against Boko Haram terrorist group. The gifts of military vehicles was done during a ceremony that took place today at the Yaoundé military headquarters. Beatrice Ngamo was there and filed out this report from the nation's capital.
17 peacekeeping security vehicles, important consignments of military equipment from the United States government for Cameroon's defense forces fighting against the Boko Haram terrorist group in the far north region of the country.
Those are specially protected vehicles, heavily armored, to protect the soldiers inside from the mines and the improvised explosive devices that we are encountering in the far north.
The specificities of the armored vehicles, His Excellency Michael Stephen Hoza said, explains their choice and special fabrication.
We selected these vehicles because of their proven record in Afghanistan and Iraq in protecting soldiers from the explosions in these mines. We hope they will save lives and help Cameroon continue its fight against Boko Haram.
The technicians and drivers to use the vehicles have already received the required skills following 3 weeks training to that effect. Cameroon's Minister of Defense Joseph Beti Asomo, who chaired the donation ceremony at the Yaoundé military headquarters, saluted the U.S. support at this point in time to meet logistic capacities of Cameroonian defense forces, as he promised judicious use for the intended fight. To the U.S. diplomat,
we're very, very happy to partner with the Cameroonians because we have the same shared values. We value the lives of our soldiers, we value the lives of our civilians, and together we will defeat Boko Haram.
4 other armored vehicles are expected in Cameroon before the end of January 2017 to make 21 in all.
Yesterday, if you were with us or if you tune on to Canal de English, you did certainly follow a brief whereby we reported that a grand rally, the Unity Rally, took place in the regional capital of the Southwest, Buea. That rally was attended by the Prime Minister of Cameroon, Philemon Yang, former Prime Minister Peter Mafani Musonge, who is currently a senator, and also top brass of the ruling CPDM party, in particular its Secretary General, Jean Kwete. For more on what happened in Buea yesterday, let's listen to the report of Regan Foba.
It was the turn Tuesday of CPDM partisans in Buea to rally their own supporters and militants to chart the course of the present political affairs taking place in English Cameroon. A convoy of government ministers, parliamentarians, businessmen and traditional rulers of the ruling CPDM party, sent by President Paul Biya, led by the Secretary General of the party, were bearers of a message calling on the Buea population to stop the strike. Jean Kwete warned the population to be on their guard, cautioning them that they should be aware of the fact that they cannot fight the forces of national law and order. He called on Anglophone teachers and lawyers to end the ongoing strike. The Secretary General added that the social media had hugely participated in amplifying the present problem in English Cameroon. According to the mouthpiece of the party, the actual problem is from exterior forces in the shadow trying to destabilize the country's peace. A viewpoint that can be placed side by side that of Communication Minister Issa Chiruma Bakari, who last week said that alleged reports of violence perpetrated on University of Buea students were false. The Prime Minister Philemon Yang and Senator Peter Mafani Musonge, who were equally part of Tuesday's rally at the Bongo Square ceremonial ground, also called on the population of the Southwest region to quit the strike, asking parents to send their children back to class. Meantime, Schools and other social institutions in Bamenda and Boya remain closed as the Anglophone teachers and lawyers stand their ground in the strike. Temporal measures by the Biya regime to call off the strike have all proven futile until now.
Well, we do say in English that a lazy craftsman always complains or accuses it to his tools. And when a government cannot do something, we have others to accuse. But now we'll be leaving Boya for the Cameroonian capital, where Cameroonians join Japanese friends to celebrate the 83rd birthday of Emperor Akihito of Japan. The emperor's birthday is scheduled to take place on the 23rd of September this year. The minister delegate at the Ministry of External Relations, Amadou Gargum, was not alone. He was accompanied by other government ministers and guests to respond to the invitation of His Excellency Kuji Okamura. Once again, Beatrice Ngemo was there at the ambassador's residence in Bastos, Yaoundé.
Toast for good health, friendship between Cameroon and Japan, and equally for peace and security in Cameroon and the world at large. Cheers by Ambassador Kuno Okamura to his guest. This on the occasion of celebrations of the 83rd birthday of Emperor Akihito of Japan, the Japanese national feast in Yaoundé, Cameroon. Occasion for His Excellency Kunio Okamura to salute the cordial relationship between Japan and Cameroon, manifested in many different programs and projects. Japan, he went further, will next year broaden her cultural activities in Cameroon.
On the 21st of January, a Japanese Cultural Day at Nansiki Council de Cameroon. We will be glad to share with you the beauty of the different concepts of the Japanese culture, such as our clothing, movies, dance, film, manga, cartoon songs, and much more.
The Japanese diplomat salutes Cameroon's efforts deployed to contain attacks of Boko Haram terrorist group and their warm and hospitable care of numerous refugees into the country. As Japan will continue to mobilize financial assistance through the United Nations in refugee aid. At the continental level, the Japanese ambassador to Cameroon said,
Japan has been actively engaged in the development of Africa, especially through the process of the Tokyo International Conference on African Development, ICAD.
It is worth mentioning here that every year since the coming of Emperor Akihito to the throne, the 23rd of December has become the day of the country's worldwide celebration for the people of Japan, their National Day celebration.
From Yaoundé, we go straight to the West region, precisely in Fumban, where the town is hosting its 546th edition of a festival known there as Ngwon. But our special envoy in Fumban tells us that Fumban, our special envoy, that is Kejang Henry Atembe, tells us that Fumban looks more like a museum because of its numerous places where handicrafts and all other historic artifacts of that ancient city with a millennial history are being exposed. For more, Kejang Henry Atembe.
Amongst the avalanche of attractive sites to welcome visitors in Fumban during the Ngwon festival is the Artisan or Craft Center. This craft center harbors thousands of artifacts, with some dating as far back as the 16th century. Mayumum Jeneblu is the conservator of this exhibition center called Gallery Baba 2. Tells me he has been doing this for more than 17 years. He says his collection counts more than 1,000 artifacts collected from all the 9 subdivisions of the Noon and beyond. Some of his artifacts are picked from the Republic of Gabon. Jenedu confessed that craft can put food on the table, but regretted the absence of buyers. Amongst other disappointment he expressed is complaints from tourists who say they are not having it very easy with the Customs Department as they charge them exorbitant amounts as duties. The Fumban Craft Village has greatly contributed in the creation of the Department of Fine Arts of the University of Chang. Well, we are here at Gallery Baba 2, one of the richest galleries you can find in the town of Fumban, rich cultural heritage, artifacts which date as far back as 25 to 30 years. We can count approximately 1,000 artifacts in this gallery. Well, I am going to take my command baton from the conservator of the gallery. Thanks and congratulations for the work you're doing. Well, this command baton will permit me to move around so that they will know that I'm one of the sons of this division. Kejang Henry Atembe reporting live from Gallery Baba in Fumban.
Well, Henry, Hilary. Kejang Henry Atembe, don't go away. He will be bringing you, people should stay glued again, because Kejang Henry Atembe will be reporting again that, still to come, reporting that Fumban and its festival known as the Ngon, that is in its 546th edition, is not just an opportunity to showcase the culture of the Bamun people. It is also another thing. It helps to promote inter-religious dialogue in a world whereby religions, people from different faiths are always at loggerhead. Henry Atembe once again.
Undisputably, the Nun division is a reference when it comes to religious tolerance in Cameroon. The pacific cohabitation between the Christians and the Muslims has greatly promoted peace and social cohesion. It is within this framework to consolidate social cohesion that the forum was organized in Fumban on December 6, 2016 under the theme Interreligious Dialogue, Tradition and Revival Churches. Patronized by UNESCO, the Interreligious Dialogue brought together Christians and Muslims to understand the importance of social cohesion in a secular state like Cameroon. The dialogue paved the way for the inauguration of a new mosque in Fumban. It should be recalled that ever since he mounted the throne as the king of the Bamun people, Ibrahim Mbobon Joya has made Islamo-Christian tolerance one of his major priorities, just like his predecessors.
We know this is a live broadcast, and for another we are going to stay still in the Fumban, or that is in the West region, and with it, long before Alexander Graham Bell invented, I think, the telephone, if my history lessons were well retained, Africans used to communicate on long distances using drums. And if you had any doubts about that, Kejang Henry will want to remind you or show you an example of the Bamun talking drum.
A few meters opposite the Sultanate in Fumban is the sacred home. In this sacred home is found the talking drum, measuring more than 3 tons. This talking drum only speaks when there is an important message to be passed by the Sultan or the Sultanate, calling on all the sons and daughters of the Bamun Kingdom to assemble in front of the royal court. I moved into this sacred home and met the custodians of the talking drum. They told me the talking drum can only speak when the kingdom of Bamun is threatened or under attack. Again, they intimated that the talking drum can talk to announce the death of the Sultan or an important declaration that has a direct impact on the life of the people. These notables are very close knights to the king or Sultan. I was equally told the king of the Bamun comes here regularly to discourse with his knights and decide on some of the topical issues affecting the life of the kingdom. I was told by the knight that this more than 3 tons talking drum sends messages as far as 50 kilometers away from the palace in case of invasion. Today, these ancient means of communication can only send messages of up to 20 kilometers. The talking drum reminds the Bamun people of their rich cultural past as they recollect this heritage from their ancestors.
Well, for those who had a doubt, now they know that before Alexander Graham Bell ever invented the telephone, the Africans did it, and it was with their drum. So we want to thank our special envoy in Fumban, Kejang Henry Atembe. Going on to sports right now, the Nigeria's women's team are continuing to refuse to leave a hotel in Abuja until they are paid allowances and bonuses for winning the Women's African Cup of Nations. The Super Falcons, who are 8 times winners of the African Women's Cup of Nations, are protesting over the Nigeria Football Federation's failure to pay them over 17,000 US dollars per player for their success. Before the competition, the girls were promised 6.5 US dollars as allowances for qualification and victory. But it is not the first time that the Nigerian Super Falcons are in the same trouble. 12 years ago, the team remained in their hotel in South Africa for 3 days for failed payment of bonuses after they won the 2004 African Women's Championship. It is really a shame. On our foreign page, Ghana's presidential election took place today amidst tight security, whereas in Chad, militant Islamic group Boko Haram are surrendering in their large numbers. Moreover, the U.S. Chancellor of the Exchequer, Philip Hammond, is in South Africa to try to cement deeper trade ties with that country. And the U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has decided to cut government expenditure by canceling the order for new plane for the President of the United States, that which we know is called Air Force One. The compilation of this foreign page was done courtesy Banlav Modest.
Ghana's presidential election took place today with a tight security. Soldiers were sent out to polling stations to ensure that the vote goes on peacefully. People queued up at polling stations sought to vote for candidates of their choice. Prisoners in Ghana also voted in the country's presidential and parliamentary elections. It was a tight race between President John Mahama and veteran opposition leader Nana Akufo-Addo. Results are expected within 3 days. A runoff will be held later in the month if neither of the two main candidates secure more than 50% of the votes. Nigeria's president, Muhammadu Buhari, has said fighters from militant Islamic group Boko Haram are surrendering in their large numbers in Chad. Mr. Buhari said the end of Boko Haram was in sight, with the militants holding no territory in any of Nigeria's 774 local government areas. The UK's Chancellor of the Exchequer, Philip Hammond, is in South Africa to try to cement deeper trade ties. South Africa is the UK's biggest trading partner in Africa, with bilateral trade last year totaling $10 billion. Mr. Hammond assures that despite the UK's departure from the European Union over the last 2 years, it wants to forge stronger links with non-European trading partners, especially in the finance sector. Out of the continent, US President-elect Donald Trump has said he wants to cut government costs by canceling the order for new planes to carry the American president. The government has a contract to Boeing to build 2 or more planes. Mr. Trump in a tweet says, Boeing is building a brand new 747 Air Force One that costs more than $4 billion, what he considers too expensive, and has decided to cancel the order for new planes.
Well, the foreign news, as I said, was compiled by our one and only Banlav Modest, and that is where we are going to put an end to our newscast tonight here. On behalf of the entire production team led by Annette Efeti Isome, do have a nice evening, and our greetings to our teaming viewers in the magnificent city of Kumbo, that is in the northwest region. Tomorrow is another day. God willing,